I think my attitude toward my wife and daughter, who think that I'm a better husband and father as a Muslim than I was as a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I seem much closer in my relationships with others. Especially, I've always loved foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
I've always appreciated foreign cultures.
You get along with Arabs, Africans, Asians?
My best times are with my Bedouin friends in the desert, hunting quail, or
riding camels.
Riding camels. I'm right at home in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
My heart, I think, is Saudi,
yeah,
and Muslim,
mm-hmm.
but I enjoy going to different countries and learning about Islam from different perspectives, cultural perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
In Myanmar, for instance, where the Rohingya are viciously persecuted.
Mm-hmm.
In Bosnia-Herzegovina,
Mm-hmm.
and other places where Islam has faced trials and tribulations. And I'm writing now about these events, and hopefully someday that will be a book.
Inshallah, great. So you've been around the world, you visited parts of Africa,
Yes.
Asia, Middle East, you visited the oppressed Muslims in Myanmar and the refugees in Bangladesh. So you grasped the idea of what the situation is of the Muslim Ummah, and you did play a role in trying to get your voice across.
Yes.
You told me your wife witnessed that you have changed.
Yeah.
What is the thing that she found, or the change, the trait or characteristic she saw in you?
I think she most appreciates the fact that I, as a Muslim, feel very responsible for supporting my family financially and for making sure that they're in good condition,
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to them emotionally, listening and watching them,
Yeah.
and caring about them and loving them. In this way, I haven't always done a good job in the past, but now as a Muslim, I'm paying very close attention to this.
Mm-hmm. Good. So you are more influential towards your wife and daughter and family and even friends after Islam.
Yes.
Before Islam, you were probably a little bit irresponsible.
I was very proud
Mm-hmm.
and very, but I was very concerned about what other people thought of me and how I behaved in front of them, more from a pride perspective.
Uh-huh.
I was
How
a very
people would
proud
see
person,
you
yeah.
or what they would think of you.
I was always trying to project an image.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not so much concerned about how people see me. I'm concerned about how Allah sees me and what His concern is about me.
So it helped you purify your intention.
Yes.
This actually reminds me of, have you ever read the biography of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him?
Which biography? I've read several.
In general, his life story, the events that happened throughout his life. Before the religion of Islam was established by him, there was a time called Al-Jahiliyyah, the time of ignorance, where the Arabs used to compete with one another. Some of them used to bury their wives or their daughters alive. It was a complete disaster. A lot of corruption was going on. Fornication was committed openly. Arrogance was widely spread. People's blood was cheap, you know. Wars were consistently happening. Nobody knew Allah. People were worshipping idols, stones. They had no concern for the Almighty Allah. But when a time came, an event happened, and that is the year of the elephant. Did you ever hear of the year of the elephant?
No.
That is when a man named Abraha is an Abyssinian man. He was like a ruler and a man of high status during that time. When he saw that people were performing Hajj in Mecca, and there was a group of people worshiping Allah, a minority. And when he saw that this minority are worshiping Allah and performing Hajj in obedience to the Almighty Allah, he got angry. He was a Christian, and he didn't like the fact that people were worshiping a God other than his God. So what happened was, Abraha decided to build a big church in an area so that in an area, perhaps in Abyssinia, I believe, so that people could divert or change their direction instead of going to Mecca to go to Ethiopia and to head to that church.